Okay, so like imagine you're out dancing, just really feeling the music, and you're totally in sync with your partner, nailing every move, even the improvised ones.
Hmm.
It's almost like you can read each other's minds, right? And get this, researchers at UC Berkeley are using AI to kind of unlock that secret language of dance. And what they're finding out is seriously cool.
Yeah, it's all about understanding how much our movements are connected to the people we're with. Like, we can predict someone's next step fairly well just by watching them, sure. But how much better can we predict it when we see how they move with someone else? That's what this research is really getting at.
So it's less about knowing if someone's going to go for like a tango dip or something, and more about how our bodies subtly influence each other when we're moving together, even when we don't realize it. And to get to the bottom of it, they had to teach an AI to understand dance.
Yeah, imagine trying to predict every tiny shift and sway in a dance routine. It'd be completely overwhelming. So they simplified things by breaking dance down into a kind of dictionary of basic moves. Think of it like translating a language, but instead of words, it's all about motion.
Okay, so let's unpack this whole dance dictionary thing.
Yeah.
How do you even teach an AI what a foxtrot looks like?
Motion capture. It's the same tech they use for movies and video games. They used a system called SMPL to capture dancers' movements in 3D, and this is where the AI comes in. They used an AI model that essentially became a dance translator. It analyzed all those motion capture recordings, finding recurring patterns and grouping them together.
So the AI basically binged hours of dance footage and said, got it, this arm movement goes with that step, and bam, that's a dictionary entry. Clever.
Exactly. Once the AI had its dictionary, they set up a virtual dance floor to put it to the test. Let's call our digital dancers Alice and Bob to make it more fun.
I am always down for a good Alice and Bob scenario. So they're digitally cutting a rug, and the researchers are trying to see if the AI can predict their next moves. But it gets even cooler, right? There's a twist.
Absolutely. They wanted to see how much better the AI could predict Alice's moves when it could also see what Bob was doing. So they tested it in two ways. First, they just had the AI look at Alice's movements alone. That's called unairy prediction.
Okay, going solo. But then they brought in Bob for the big dyadic reveal, right? Let's see how intertwined these virtual partners really are.
You got it. Dyadic prediction is all about seeing how knowing Bob's moves changes the game for predicting Alice's. Does it give us more clues, or are they basically dancing to the beat of their own virtual drums? And for an extra challenge, they use footage from a real Lindy Hop competition.
Wait, they didn't just stick with some basic waltz. They went full-on competition mode.
Yeah.
Tell me they at least gave Alice and Bob some snazzy outfits.
No digital sequins, I'm afraid. But they did use footage from the International Lindy Hop Championships, no less. High-skilled dancers, intricate moves, all that good stuff. They took that YouTube footage and, using some pretty impressive tech, turned it into 3D motion data for Alice and Bob.
Okay, so we've got our virtual Lindy Hoppers, Alice and Bob, ready to put this AI through its paces. First up, solo Alice. How did AI do with just her moves to go on?
Yeah, it actually did a pretty impressive job, even with just the unairy prediction. Turns out our bodies are pretty good at telegraphing our own movements.
Yeah, that makes sense. Even if you don't know the exact routine, you'd kind of expect a certain flow to someone's steps.
Exactly. But here's the really interesting thing. When they switched to the dyadic model, remember that's where the AI can see both Alice and Bob. Its accuracy jumped from about 65% to over 90%.
Oh, hold on. It almost doubled its prediction power just by seeing both dancers.
Mm.
That's wild. What's the secret sauce there?
It's like our brains are having this whole conversation through movement that we're not even aware of. We're picking up on these tiny cues like a shift in weight, a slight turn of the head, even just a glance, and we're constantly adjusting our own movements accordingly.
So it's not just about predicting where your partner's foot will land. It's like you're subconsciously syncing up your whole energy with theirs.
You got it. It really highlights how much we rely on this constant unspoken dialogue of movement, even when we think we're just freestyling it out there.
Okay, mind officially blown. This isn't just about dance anymore, is it? It feels like we've stumbled onto something much bigger.
You're catching on. This research has huge implications for how we understand human interaction in general. Think about it, this dance floor connection, this constant prediction and adaptation, it's happening everywhere all the time.
So if this dance floor ESP is happening everywhere, where else does it show up? Give us the real-world examples.
Well, think about a casual conversation, right? You ever notice how you unconsciously lean in when the other person does? Or how your energy levels seem to kind of sync up? That's this principle in action.
Oh yeah, all the time. I always thought it was just me trying to be polite.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering if it's like hardwired or something.
Right. Or think about teamwork, like playing sports, collaborating on a project, even just navigating a crowded street. We're constantly reading each other's cues, anticipating movements, and adjusting our own behavior without even thinking about it.
Huh. It's like our brains are all in a silent dance-off, constantly predicting and reacting to each other's moves. So what does this mean for, like, CGI characters in movies? Could this research help level up their realism?
Absolutely. Imagine virtual characters that move with the same nuance and fluidity as real people, responding to each other's movements in a way that feels totally natural, no more stiff robotic gestures. This research could be huge for animation and stuff.
Okay, that's seriously cool. But beyond Hollywood magic, are there any, like, practical applications for this? What about healthcare? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, there's huge potential there. Imagine using this technology to create more responsive prosthetics that move seamlessly with the user's body, or to develop therapies that help people with movement disorders improve their coordination and balance. We're talking about potentially life-changing applications.
Wow, we've gone from predicting dance steps to potentially changing lives. This is why I love a good deep dive. You never know where it's going to lead.
It's all about those unexpected connections, right? And this research really highlights how important it is to keep asking those fundamental questions about human behavior.
So next time you're out and about, hitting the dance floor, walking down a crowded street, or even just chatting with a friend, take a moment to appreciate that hidden language of movement, that subtle dance we're all doing together. It's a whole new way of seeing the world. And who knows what other mysteries we might uncover if we just pay attention. That's all for this deep dive. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those feet moving.